There's a test you can do right now, sitting exactly where you are. Place one hand flat on your chest. Place the other hand flat on your belly, right below your rib cage. Now take a normal breath. Don't try to do anything special. Just breathe the way you always breathe. Which hand moved? If your chest hand went up and your belly hand barely moved, you've just discovered something important. You've been breathing in a way that quietly works against your body every single day, possibly for decades. And today, a pulmonologist is going to show you what to do about it. Here's something most people don't know. You were born knowing how to breathe correctly. Watch any healthy newborn sleep and you'll see it clearly. Their little belly rises and falls like a slow, peaceful wave. The chest barely moves at all. That's perfect breathing. That's the design. But somewhere along the way, through stress, through years of sitting hunched at desks, through years of being told to suck in your stomach, most adults completely reversed that pattern. We became chest breathers. We started using the small, shallow muscles at the top of our rib cage instead of the powerful muscle designed specifically for the job. That muscle is your diaphragm. It sits right below your lungs, curved like a dome. When it contracts properly, it drops downward, creating a vacuum that pulls air deep into the lower lobes of your lungs. Your belly pushes outwards as your organs get gently displaced downward. That's what the belly rising means. It's not fat moving. It's your body working exactly right. When your diaphragm stops doing its job, the chest muscles pick up the slack. But they're not built for this. They're small, they fatigue easily, and they only fill the upper third of your lungs, leaving the lower two-thirds mostly sitting there, underused. Now, here's where this connects directly to your blood pressure, and this part surprises a lot of people. Your diaphragm doesn't just move air. Every time it contracts and releases, it creates a rhythmic pressure change in your chest cavity. That pressure change acts like a gentle pump on the large veins running through your chest, the ones returning blood back to your heart. Proper diaphragmatic breathing actually assists your circulation. It helps move blood. Chest breathing doesn't do that. Shallow chest breathing keeps your body in a low-level state of tension. It activates your sympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for fight or flight. Your heart rate stays slightly elevated, your blood vessels stay slightly constricted, your blood pressure creeps up and stays up. The diaphragm, on the other hand, is directly connected to the vagus nerve, one of the most important nerves in your body. When your diaphragm moves fully and deeply, it sends a signal straight to your brain. Calm down. Heart rate, slow down. Blood vessels, relax. Blood pressure, come down. This is not a theory. It's documented in clinical research. People who practice diaphragmatic breathing consistently show measurable reductions in resting blood pressure over time without changing their diet, without changing their medication, simply by changing the muscle they use to breathe. So, let's do the test properly. You'll need a book, any book, something with a little weight to it. Lie down on your back or sit back in a reclined chair. Place the book flat on your belly, just below your sternum. Now, breathe. If you're breathing correctly, the book rises on the inhale and falls on the exhale, slowly, smoothly. The book becomes a biofeedback device. You can actually see your diaphragm working. If the book doesn't move much, that tells you everything. Your diaphragm has essentially gone off duty. It's been standing in the corner while your neck and shoulder muscles have been doing overtime. Now here's the thing. Your diaphragm is a muscle, and like any muscle that hasn't been used properly, it needs to be retrained. Not strengthened in the gym sense, it needs to be repatterned. You need to rebuild the neural habit. The good news is, this retraining happens faster than you'd expect. Here's how to practice. Start once a day for just 5 minutes. Morning works well because it sets the tone for how you'll breathe all day. Lie down or recline. Place the book on your belly. Breathe in slowly through your nose, counting to 4, and focus on pushing the book upward. Don't lift your shoulders, don't puff your chest, just send the breath down towards your belly. Then breathe out slowly through pursed lips, like you're gently blowing out a candle, counting to 6 or 8. The slow exhale is actually the most important part. A longer exhale compared to your inhale is what activates the vagus nerve. That's the signal that tells your nervous system to shift into parasympathetic mode, the calm, rest, and digest state. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6 or 8. Book rises, book falls. That's it. After a week of daily practice, this starts to feel natural. After 2 to 3 weeks, you'll catch yourself doing it automatically, sitting at dinner, watching TV, walking the dog. Your body remembers. It goes back to how it was always meant to work. There's one more benefit that most breathing articles never mention: your internal organs. Every full diaphragmatic breath gently massages your stomach, your liver, your intestines, your kidneys. The up and down motion of the diaphragm applies rhythmic pressure to everything in the abdominal cavity. This assists digestion. It improves lymphatic drainage. It keeps things moving the way they're supposed to move. Chest breathers don't get this. Their organs sit in relative stillness, relying entirely on blood flow and gravity to keep things functioning. Diaphragmatic breathers get a gentle internal massage thousands of times a day, completely free, completely automatic, just from breathing the way nature designed. If you've struggled with sluggish digestion or that bloated feeling after meals, retraining your breathing might help more than you expect. The connection between the diaphragm and digestion is real, and it's one of those things that tends to improve quietly in the background once you fix the breathing first. One important thing to watch for: when some people first try belly breathing, they feel a little dizzy or lightheaded. This is almost always because they're breathing too fast or too deeply, taking in too much oxygen too quickly. If that happens, slow everything down. The breath should feel effortless. You're not trying to fill your lungs to maximum capacity on every inhale. You're just shifting where the breath goes, downward into the belly, not making each breath bigger than before. A calm, slow, diaphragmatic breath is worth far more than a big, forceful one. Now, if you've watched our earlier video on the vagus nerve and your heart rate, you already know part of this story. That video covered the extended exhale technique for calming a racing heart before bed. This episode takes you a layer deeper into the actual muscle mechanics behind why that works and how to make it a permanent part of the way you breathe all day long. The diaphragm and the vagus nerve are partners. Train one and you automatically support the other. Let's bring it back to that simple test. One hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Breathe. Your belly hand should win every single time. That's the goal. Not something you do for 5 minutes in the morning and then forget. The goal is to make belly breathing your default, your resting state, the pattern your body returns to without thinking. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. People have reversed years of shallow chest breathing in just a few weeks with this practice. Their blood pressure readings came down, their sleep improved, their digestion settled, their anxiety quieted. Not because they took something new, but because they stopped doing something that was quietly working against them. You breathed correctly the day you were born. You can breathe correctly again. Start tonight. Find a book. Lie down. Let your belly push it toward the ceiling. That small rise, that gentle movement, is your body beginning to remember. If this episode gave you something useful, please share it with someone you care about. A like and subscribe helps us keep making content like this for you. Now take a breath, a real one.